Welcome into another episode of That Happy Hour Show. Cheers to the weekend. I have no spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about some stuff, some new trailers. We're going to be reacting to some of the latest movie and TV show news. We have so much in store. Let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
All right, joining with me to break down the latest trailers and TV and movie news, it's Johnny Rico.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
We're doing. We got. I got really excited because I saw that we had comments popped up and it was you.
It's me.
It's you.
Me. We're doing the thing.
We're our own biggest fans. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Talk
true.
about shit. I mean, we got to kick this off right. Cheers.
Oh yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to the weekend. Cheers.
Oh, is that Star Wars glass?
It is
Oh,
R2D2.
Oh, I love it.
My lovely father actually. So here's the story. I think I told you this. Maybe I told you this.
Daddy Otto, as we call him.
Papa Otto, Daddy Otto.
Papa Otto.
He came and visited me the week after Christmas, before New Year's, and my dad and I, you know, like to celebrate, obviously because of the holidays, but just in general. And we celebrated a little too much. I believe it was New Year's Eve. We celebrated a little too hard, and he broke one of my glasses. And I don't have a lot of glasses. We were talking with Pete last night, where he said that one of his friends broke one of his glasses, and he only has like one left. Yeah. I do not have a lot of glasses, so he broke one of my glasses. And he felt really, really bad about it. And I kept saying, like, it's fine. And he broke one of my glasses, and like 2 days later, an Amazon package showed up. And it was a 4-pack of Star Wars glasses. It's R2D2, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and BB-8.
Okay.
Yeah.
The side character bundle, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I
Sidekick.
Yeah, side droid bundle.
Yeah.
Actually, we had Chewbacca too, so
That's why I said sidekick.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm enjoying them. So thanks, Papa Otto.
There you go.
Father
Automatic.
Yeah, you refer to him by his given name, Father Automatic. But anyway, weekend's here. Unfortunately, not for me yet. After this show ends, I go back to work. But for you, the weekend's here.
Yeah.
Have anything planned for your weekend?
We have a belt promotion at my gym tomorrow, so I get to watch my students and teammates get promoted. So that should be a fun day. And as a wrestling fan, it's Royal Rumble weekend, and that's one of my favorite wrestling events ever. It's just, it's really fun entertainment, and it's one of my favorite events to look forward to every single year. So yeah, it should be pretty fun, relaxing weekend.
Very cool. Sounds like a lot
and
of fun.
More Last of Us, of course.
Yeah, I'm excited for that on Sunday. I have something pretty fun on Saturday, though. I have a Battle of the Bands with my band.
Ooh!
And so if we win, we go to the semifinals in April, and if we win that, we play on Bamboozle, which is a festival on the East Coast was pretty big in the past, but it had gone away for a few years, and now is coming back. But it'll be in Atlantic City, which would be close to my dad, who we were just talking about. Right. So he'd be able to see us live at a festival, which would be pretty cool. It would be something we can check off our bucket list. I've played one festival before, and it was batshit crazy the entire time because there were big bands everywhere. We parked our little 16-passenger van next to like these giant tour buses and stuff like that, and we were just sitting in there and just watching bands that we grew up listening to, just like walking in and out of their buses, and we're like, this is unreal type of thing. So
yeah.
I keep trying to tell the rest of the guys who haven't played festivals yet. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm a big shot at all. We got lucky that I was.
Hey, your experience though.
Yeah, lucky enough to be put onto a festival in the past. But to be able to do this one, we would have to earn our way there, and I think that would be really exciting. And I'm really looking forward to that. And as of right now, because I just got an updated total, as of right now, we have passed the 40 fans are coming. We know that is confirmed right now, and we haven't even finished. Like, there are some people that I know and some people that a couple of the other members know that haven't got their tickets yet.
Yeah.
So we're about to own that place.
Let's go.
When we play.
Well, hey,
I'm
yeah,
so excited. Yeah, it's going to be a real quick set. We get about 20 minutes, which is, less than ideal, but it means that we get to play our favorite songs and just, rip right through everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. Excellent, dude. Love that for you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been like fighting a cold all this week, and that's the reason why. Is I've been, trying to get through that cold as fast as possible so that my voice can be as good as possible, I guess, for Saturday. So
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. But anyway, we have a lot of, TV movie news, trailer breakdown, stuff like that we got to get into. I just, I wanted to see, how your weekend was going to be. Play it out.
Yeah. let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the chat. What's your weekend going to be like out there? I mean, we usually get listeners from all over the place. I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to get Martin checking in from Hawaii. And,
yeah, the Hawaii time,
Yeah, at some point, he's going to take his lunch break and check in.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, let us know if you're cooking any good food this weekend. I love hearing about good food meals and meals being cooked.
I'm thinking about making chili.
Oh, I love chili.
I just made chili last week, and I'm already like 100% ready to make it again because it lasts so long, and it's just nice.
It's the season for it too, especially in the cold weather. Oh my god, there's nothing better than a nice bowl of chili.
Cold. Yeah. Just talking about it, I'm definitely going to do that. Sunday, I'm going to feel like I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to feel like miserable because I'm definitely going to, do the show, and I'm probably going to have drinks with the band and friends and stuff that come out to the show. So yeah, Sunday's going to be my lazy day, and I'm just going to make chili and just eat. And watch
get a nice bowl of chili and watch The Last of Us, which leads right into our first topic, really.
Yeah.
Which is pretty easily in the most unsurprising news ever. The Last of Us has been renewed for season 2, which is, hey, hooray for that! Cheers to that to them. Congrats. We love to see the video games adaptations succeed, but to become a massive hit like this has become is really awesome to see. Is especially as people who love the game as we do. Kind of seeing that like wider audience get to see what we love about it and have that same reaction to it has been really awesome. And we kind of learned a little bit that the second season will pretty much follow the second game, which I haven't played yet. I'm planning to play it here pretty soon. But I love that they're kind of sticking to this this story to a tight formula is what I would say. So that very excited to see the characters they introduced there. I'm excited to play the game so I can kind of get a better understanding of what to expect. But no, kind of more Last of Us news. They're kind of talking about if a third game would ever be made, a part 3. And they didn't necessarily like say it was off the table. They said if we can come up with a compelling story that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. So here's hoping that that can happen, and then we can get a third season of the show, which would be pretty cool too. So I'm loving that the world is seeing how great The Last of Us is, and that it's going to continue to go on into the second season. Which again, it doesn't feel surprising to us, but you just never know with these first season of these shows when they come out and how people respond to them. And also the fact that we don't, it's only the second episode. Like the fact that this news came out so quick just shows how big that response was. So very happy for that news.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I'm right there with you. I have watched some of the second game's gameplay, so I know I know some of the big parts, at least towards the beginning. Like I know what happens, and I know what a second season could mean and what to dive into, type of thing. I don't remember. I know I didn't watch the finishing of the game, so I don't know how it ends.
Yeah, I know nothing.
and where a third game could start off, or a third
Mhm.
season could start off, if they're going to really do that, one season per game type of thing. But I mean, I don't know if we want to talk spoilers.
No. I tried to dance around that myself. That's why I was like,
Martin!
trying to navigate my way. Hey, Martin, what's up, bud?
He heard me. He heard
did.
me from Hawaii. It just
He
took a
knows.
couple of minutes.
He knows.
Anyway, yeah. So something sad's gonna happen at the end of season 1 if it's really gonna be one season per
Something sad,
game.
stuff is sad's gonna happen throughout the whole season. Trust me, and it's gonna keep happening. This is not a show filled with happy-go-lucky situations.
But
So,
at the beginning of this, before we got any kind of confirmation on how long each season was going to be compared to the game, I was thinking maybe potentially they could stretch a like the first game into 2 seasons and leave it
yeah,
off on a cliffhanger, and then we get that eventual what we know is happening and we're dancing around of what happens. But I do know, like I said, I watched some of the beginning gameplay for the second game. So I mean, that plot is directly tied to what will happen in a season 1 finale.
right, yeah. I think it makes sense that they went straight off the entire first game to adapt in the first season, just because you don't know if that second season is a given
Right.
thing. So if
That's
you're
fair.
gonna get your one shot at your one season, tell the story in its entirety, I would say, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's really tough because I know little bits and pieces of what happens in the second game, but I've really tried as hard as I could to avoid like the major moments as hard as it's been. And it's been quite a little while since that second game came out. I feel like now because I haven't played it. I don't think there's a PS5 version of it yet. Which is
Yeah,
pretty
I don't
crazy.
think there's been a remastered.
Yeah, so it's been out for at least a few years, which is pretty wild that I still haven't gotten around to play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, I'm looking forward to playing it possibly on my Twitch channel right here if you're looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of remastered, you know what just came out? Dead Space.
Yes. I was
Dead
watching
Space.
someone play it today. It looks very good.
So was I.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting, the person I was watching, and it wasn't like a normal streamer that I normally watch or anything. They made things different because he was pointing them out. He was like, "Yeah, I played the old version before this came out." And so like he said certain things you're supposed to, like in the old version you would go right and now you have to go left, because he was like, "I tried to go right like 4 times and tried every single way I could possibly do it and I died every single time." So I
Well, they
had
called it a remake, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to like a remaster. So I guess that kind of
They
right
changed
that's usually why I always find it interesting when they specifically like list like hit the remaster as opposed to like the remake, because that means like yeah, like I was saying, you're gonna take little aspects of it and tweak it and make it a fresh experience for the people who loved it before and for the new people coming in.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to actually I want to play through that as well. And it made me think like again when we're talking about video game adaptations, that if you're looking for something in the horror genre as well as like the sci-fi thing, like I don't know why you wouldn't try and develop a Dead Space series into some kind
Yeah.
of cool like horror show. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, that would be scary as shit because
Mhm.
that game, and I've explained this to multiple people,
Oh
is
yeah,
one of those games where I sat like this when I was playing, my
yeah.
shoulders as hunched like up as possible,
You need
and
to take
like
a breather after
yeah,
every encounter.
I had to keep going like this. I could
Mhm.
only play like 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and then I would have to like either pause it or
Yeah,
completely turn it off and be like, okay, that's my time because I'm gonna hurt
yeah,
like, because when I played it the first time I played it for like an hour or 2 straight, and
yeah,
like I could feel it all in my shoulders and stuff, and I was like, I
yeah.
can't.
You get tense, very
Yeah,
tense.
I was like, I can't do this permanently, or else I'm gonna feel real hurt the next day. So yeah, I can only play it in like because I have it because I have Game Pass. So I even re-downloaded it, and then I was like, oh, I'm sure it's probably not as bad as I remember. And I started playing it again. I was like already starting to tense up. I was like, nope. I always have to just play this in like little segments forever.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I mean, I can only imagine if you get the right director and the right like people behind a show like that. Oh, it would be terrifying.
Yeah, I would very much love that. A lot.
That's a good. You know what we should do? Maybe not for this episode, just because I wouldn't want to put us both
Yeah, for a future one for sure.
completely on the spot is like our top picks for video game to live action. And I know we've
Yeah.
kind of talked about this because like I've mentioned Halo wanting that, but like I just mean like realistic like games right now. Like
Yeah,
we wouldn't
specific
go
stories.
right,
Like if you want to
right,
do a specific game from a franchise or whatever, yeah,
right, right.
100%.
It'd be cool to talk about. So yeah,
Yeah. We got. I think our next couple lives will be pretty Marvel focused because next week, Black Panther will be out on Disney Plus by then.
Mhm.
So one, we have to get our recap out of that
I know.
as well. So sorry, Danny. I know it's just more. You hear that and you go, another one on my plate. Damn it. But I know we're still playing that catch up. And then, but also we can start doing our phase 4 recap stuff and also kind of looking forward to phase 5 and talking about the stuff we're looking forward to that as well. Especially with Ant-Man coming out just a couple
Yeah.
weeks after that too. So we got plenty of Marvel to talk with kind of that little drought we've had since one you being away and two uh it's been a few months since Wakanda Forever came out, so we haven't really had much new Marvel stuff to talk about other than trailers.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to do like some deep dive stuff there.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I understand the extra added work, but I am looking forward to all of the new Marvel stuff coming out. I'm very excited for. I mean, I can't wait to get like talking about Marvel stuff. Like even the shows. Like I can't wait for Secret Invasion, and we're getting that this
Oh, I
year.
know. I still need to like look at like what's coming out this year too, because I'm so focused on what Ant-Man is giving us promo wise. I'm like, what the hell else is still coming? Oh my god, we got Secret Invasion coming out like in a couple months too. Like it's just like it's all gonna hit
Yeah.
us fast. And then, again, just again piling up. Everything's piling up, Danny.
And we got
Nando's coming out.
Yeah.
Nando's coming out.
Nando's out.
It's all coming out.
Mando's at the beginning of March. Like
Great time. It's a
oh
great
my
time to be a
God.
nerd. And it's I love it.
Oh boy. Anyway, moving on, we did get a couple of second trailers for a couple of movies that I mean non-Marvel movies. And we got some second. Yeah, I know, right? We got some second trailers, and I was actually I mentioned both of these on my list of top movies for 2023 that are coming out that I was excited for. The first one being Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I just like we said when we were doing that list, that breakdown list. This just looks like fun. Like
yeah, exactly. You see these trailers in the theater and you go like, oh, that's coming out. Like, yeah, we'll go and that can be fun. Just kind of hang out for a day. Take the kids, enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Watch a fat dragon. That fat dragon is amazing.
But yeah, I'm excited to see everyone in this. Everyone that's in this movie looks like they're having a good time too.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just look like they're good for their roles. And I mean, I know I'm just like kind of like just not really getting into anything in depth, but I really just think this looks like a fun movie, and that's why that is why I'm excited for it because it just looks like a fun movie. So
yeah. I watched this trailer just right before we started recording again, and there's just some really funny moments in there with the action with Michelle Rodriguez, and of course Chris Pine. I think he shines in kind of roles like this, which is kind of he does great in kind of these bigger dramatic roles as well. Like the first movie I think of that he's really great in is Hell or High Water. I really love that movie. But like movies like this and like Star Trek, where he plays like the goofy leader of like a gang of misfits, it's just like I think he's really fun in these kind of roles, and I think he kind of brings a little bit of that to Steve Trevor too in the Wonder Woman movies, but he's just kind of there to balance off of Wonder Woman as well. But yeah, I think there's some pretty fun CGI moments here. There's some pretty cheesy looking CGI as well, that's forgivable, but I think there's some pretty fun moments in here and fun character moments. The tag at the end of the trailer with being like, "Don't you dare trigger this mechanism," and then of course the guy just boom and the bridge falls. Like,
yeah,
I triggered the mechanism, and it just seems like something you would see in like a D&D campaign. Like, okay, like you walked here and you accidentally triggered the mechanism, and you roll for something like that, and you go, "Oh, I triggered the mega list. Like that just kind of seems like those kind of things. Like I don't play a D&D, but hopefully my D&D players can kind of back me up there, and hopefully I'm kind of getting close to what you guys relate to. But yeah, I just think there's some. I like that whole fantasy genre. I feel like that just kind of like you got dragons, you got axes, you got armor. I like that stuff, and playing a lot of Elden Ring, uh, all that. I think that's just a really cool genre to kind of dive into some fun characters and creatures and action. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think there's something to say when you can do it and do a good comedic take on a movie like in that fantasy genre.
yeah,
Um, because I mean, look,
good actors too.
Lord of the Rings, incredible like movie franchise. I mean,
Rings of Power, not so much.
7, yeah. Rings of Power not doing so great. They actually got bumped recently. It was recent
That's not
news.
not
They
very
got
good.
yeah, but I think it goes to show that maybe the way that you get people interested into that fantasy element is with
Game of
comedy.
Thrones. Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think it's a little bit easier to get into that when there is like little funny parts. Because even the original the Lord of the Rings trilogy had those little, comedic moments
yeah,
like
Merry and Pippin.
what about second breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you gotta have moments of levity and
Right.
to balance out the moments of darkness.
Right, exactly. Second trailer that we got a second movie that we got the second trailer of was
Yeah.
Shazam: Fear of the
Mm.
Gods. Which, look, I was already sold like from first trailer, but
Oh, yeah.
what I was saying to you because we both watched this right before we went live. Um, I feel like this trailer is way more in the vein of the first movie. Like when we were getting the promotion for the first movie and stuff like that, where we had, the funny little element stuff, but then we had like, oh shit, something's happening, like type of thing. Like
Right.
I think it's a cool balanced trailer, is what you said. In
Mhm.
comparison to that, but it just gave me more vibes of the first one. Not that I was like worried about this movie or anything about that at all, but it's just I'm happy to see that tone again because I
Right.
love the first movie. It's one of the movies I put on all the time. I've told you that many times. We both talked about that. So I'm I was going to see it anyway, but I'm very excited to see it now. After that second trailer. But what were some of your? I love that there's a dragon in it.
More dragons. Yeah.
More dragons.
Another fight with dragons was always great. Um, yeah, I do especially love this trailer a lot. I think it takes a little bit more of a serious tone, which is uh, a great job of kind of showcasing like what the really great parts of Shazam really is. Like this um one, the fact that he's still a kid,
Yep.
but he's still willing to make these bigger than life choices in the name of the greater good, right? I think that's kind of what the whole kind of trailer starts to focus on there, and I think it's going to lead to a very interesting character arc for Billy going into this movie. Um, I would have liked to see him a little bit more of like what more we can expect out of Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. I think they're showcased very well in this trailer.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure what the motives are for them in this yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's still what I'm waiting to see. I'm sure it all makes sense in the movie, or maybe just their purpose is just that kind of like it's basic. Like when you see them there, like okay, they want like a certain power, he's got to stop them from getting it. That's all we kind of get to learn about. It's more with that. It's really always more about Billy and the greater Shazam family. Um, I kind of like seeing them have more of a presence in this trailer as well. Like they're clearly going to have a pretty solid role in this. Like it's a Shazam team up movie, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, there's a few shots in the trailer where like it's like Shazam and the family on the ground, and then of course Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu and their gods like up and levitating the floor. But there's like a random human girl next to them, and I'm wondering like what her role in this is all going to be. Um, so I'm thinking maybe there's some characters in here that we don't know about that are going to be introduced and kind of either as cameos or just kind of like, hey, you didn't know this character was going to be in this movie, but yeah, they're a part of the story. Um, but yeah, just I love the first movie. I think this is just gonna be more of that, the same. Um, The first trailer was very much heavy on I think the humor, I would say, which almost made me a little bit afraid that it was gonna fall into that like that Guardians 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, like, "Hey, everyone, let's just be funny all the time throughout the whole movie," and because we know we like we know you liked how funny the first movie was, and let's just make it funny, right? Um, but there's also like a good amount of heart at too. So I think
Yeah.
they're doing a really good job of staying true to what made the first one great. And yeah, more Shazam, please.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering, just from the second trailer, it looks like they're taking the powers from the Shazam family. I don't know if that's a temporary or if that's a permanent thing until like the end, after he finally like beats them and is able to give his power, like their powers back or something
Right.
like that. Because it just looks like like the older sister gets like zapped out of the air and he has to like
Yeah.
fly to catch her. So I don't know if that's like a
And turns
temporary
back
thing.
into her younger self, I think.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm curious to see what that is. Like if that's just a I can mess with your powers, or if
Yeah.
if they're actually just taking them type
And
of thing.
Shazam's arm is pretty jacked up in those trailers too. Like it looks like it's affected by whatever he's been hit with, and like his arm's kind of like turning to
And
stone.
his suit is turning to grayish black, like
So
Black
I
Adam's
wonder,
suit.
I wonder if there's gonna be some kind of greater sacrifice at play. We don't know what the future of these characters is gonna be
Yep.
after this movie, given the big shift in DC behind the scenes. But I really hope that there's something that you can do where you can keep these guys contained in their own world and still have something to do with these characters.
Yeah, same. I mean, we've gone over this over and over again. Like we don't know, what's safe and what's not at this point.
Right.
Just because I mean, I think we both agree that James
Other than
Gunn.
Batman, Batman's always safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting a new Batman regardless. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that world is like so in its own thing that we don't have to worry about the Matt Reeves Batman
yeah,
anytime
yeah,
soon. And that TV show, I think that's really cool. Like you can take a character like that, put him in his own little pocket, and just have fun in that world. And I think that's a really cool way to approach this world going forward. But we can talk a little bit about that later.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So do you want to get into this news that has like dominated the news cycle for like the last week or two?
Yeah, this was a pretty big story this week. Uh, Unfortunate news for one, I guess, I get Justin Roiland fans, but for Rick and Morty fans, he's High on Life fans, he's just out. He's everything he's associated
Yeah,
with. He's out, and that's a pretty big blow to not just to him, but to the projects that he's working on because he is such an integral voice of everything that he does.
yeah,
Even if in my opinion that he does like those same 4 to 5 voices every single character, but um, I think this is really interesting because for especially a show like Rick and Morty that has what we said 6 seasons already, it's really interesting to take him out of this now and just go, okay, but the show is going to keep going. Um, so I was like, okay, what are you gonna do with the voices of those characters, and not just Rick and Morty, but the many other characters, like you said, that he voices throughout the show as well? Because he obviously, they bring in their guest stars, of course, but
right.
uh, Royland would voice a lot of the key characters, I would say,
Yeah,
or the
Rick,
key
Morty,
side characters, like what, like
Bird Person, Mr. Meeseeks,
Mr. Poopy Butthole,
Mr. Poopy Butthole. Yeah,
yeah, stuff like that. Um, So, as I would say that I would leave it's like, kind of like how you leave the Star Wars questions kind of more to me. This is kind of more, I would say I would leave you to be more the Rick and Morty guy than me, even though I love the show. I hit to watch it over and over to realize what's going on every single time. Like, I wish I could retain the story and the lore as well as some people do. Like, I like you. Um, but I want to know what you think they should do with one, the characters of Rick and Morty, and also like the other characters that he voices as well. Because again, like with it being 6 seasons in, it's hard to imagine the characters with new voices entirely,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
like you were saying, like Aunt Viving them, like when you just had watching this Fresh Prince, and all of a sudden Aunt Viv was just played by somebody
Completely
else.
different actor.
Yeah. Uh, they also said that was something that Don Cheeto did with Terrence Howard with War
Yep,
Machine, which is really
yep,
funny. Like,
yep.
but um, And yeah, I think if they did that, it's something that can get over real quick. But it's a matter of like, who do you cast? Do you cast names? Do you cast just a voice actor that just does the voices really well? Um, and then just give other voice actors those other characters, and give them more jobs at that point, right? That's also a good thing at the end of the day. But I am curious what you think of that. Also, with I guess his other shows on like Hulu, was it Solar
Solar
Opposites and
Opposites, yeah.
and all of that? So
Hulu hasn't issued any kind of statement, at least one that I haven't seen. Just like Adult Swim they were the first ones to come right out and be
I've
like, "Look,
seen, I think, yeah, I've seen that Hulu is like everyone's gotten ties. Yeah,
did
yeah,
Hulu say that?" Oh,
yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I wasn't sure because at the time of the statement from Adult Swim, that that was the only thing that had really been reported on.
yeah,
Everything was that Adult Swim was like, "We're done with Justin Roiland, but we're not going to abandon all of the people that are working on the
right,
show
exactly.
and all of this stuff. So we're gonna keep going with Rick and Morty. We just Justin
Yeah,
Roiland's out."
and really,
Um,
Dan Harmon's writing is a really key integral part of that as well because he's a very high concept mind. The way he like when you hear him talk, like he's very much in his own head. Like I think a lot of his brain goes into that as well. So
okay.
I still think the show's in good hands at the end of the day. Like, I think it'll be interesting how it's handled going forward. I think that's also a big thing about that is like, wow, like a really big piece of the show is not there, and what's else is next season
But we
gonna come out
also
now?
the other thing is we also don't know any of the behind the scenes stuff, so we really don't know how much is Harmon, how much was Royland, and how much
Right.
are the other people that happen to be working on the show in the background type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could have been, season 1 and 2 were all Royland and Harmon, and then slowly and
Yeah.
slowly,
The team grows.
yeah, as the team grows, more and more people get to input into
100%.
stuff and things like that. We just don't know. There's a
Right.
lot of stuff we don't know in the background. So I mean,
A lot of his responsibilities are now shifting over into just more people now.
right.
Is essentially the point. Yeah.
But I mean, look, there are, just like you said, there are two ways that they could go, and being that Rick and Morty is about the multiverse and stuff like that,
Hmm.
you could, I mean, if they just wanted
Yeah.
to hire voice actors like that don't exactly sound the
New
same,
voices for every Rick.
yeah, they could easily just, have an episode that for some weird reason, crashes something, changes something, or now we're following a different Rick and a different Morty.
Right.
Things are different.
Write it in.
Yeah, they can write that explanation in pretty easily just because of the subject matter that Rick and Morty does deal with on a regular basis. Not that any of the multiverse versus versions of any of the main characters have had different voices,
Right.
but just
Multiverse.
yeah, just saying that it's potentially. But what I think, and what a lot of people from on TikTok and social media and stuff are saying, there are a few people that have done impressions of Rick and Morty and some of the other characters in the past um, that are very very good at it. One
Yeah.
particular, like I've seen a bunch of random videos, and I'm sure that's going to fill up all of our timelines on Instagram and TikTok for the coming months until something gets announced, with just different people doing that and basically making it into like some sort of public audition.
Yeah.
But there's been a guy that has been I've been following on TikTok for since at least last year, and he just it's really cool because I kind of saw this progression. He wasn't doing it for anything. He was just saying, "Hey, I think I figured out how to do Rick's voice," and there's just some rudimentary videos of him doing that just in front of a camera and stuff like that. But his name is Sean Kelly.
Mhm.
His handle on TikTok and Instagram is Sean Kelly Says,
Okay.
and he is so spot on with Rick and Morty, and he can do it in the same conversation. It's not like he has to do only
You can
Rick.
go back and forth easily.
Yeah, he can
Yeah.
literally like have a conversation with himself with the two voices, and
That's cool.
it's so close. It's so close. So what I was saying to you is, I do agree that like, hey, maybe this is an opportunity to give multiple people jobs. Um, in a time when, I'm sure actors and voice actors are all looking for jobs and stuff like that. So what I was saying was, I think that might be a cool idea. What I was saying is maybe we get Sean Kelly to do Rick and Morty.
Hmm.
And then we get the other, like I'll call them the runner up choices to do some of the other Justin Roiland voices, basically. So Bird Person, we get a
Right.
Mr. Poopy Butthole. We get some the people that he voiced on Solar Opposites. We give that to a different person,
Right.
type of thing. You know what I mean? So we can spread it around. But the guy that the internet is hoping gets cast is Sean Kelly, just because he's very, very spot on. I think he gets what needs to be the closest, unless they're gonna write into the actual show that they have changes in their voices for some reason. If they want it to go without any kind of anything in universe, I think you go and you give the one person that everyone agrees has the best impersonation the two biggest characters.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
else can have a little bit different voices, and we're not really gonna, mind because Bird Person is in a few episodes total. Really, he's not in a ton.
Yeah.
Mr. Poopy Butthole's not in a
Just showing
ton.
up at credit tags at the end of the season, like, oh,
Exactly.
ooh, what are we doing?
Exactly. So those don't have to
Meeseeks.
be.
Who's Meeseeks? That
Yeah,
same? Yeah,
yeah,
that's like, yeah, these little bit characters.
yeah, yeah. Those can go to other people, and then same thing with. I mean, Solar Opposites hasn't been running as long as Rick and Morty, but I mean, the main characters, they're aliens, so
Right.
we can also explain that in. And I mean, if there's another person that sounds very similar to Rick, because there are, the Solar Opposite character that Roiland was voicing, or at least one of them sounded very similar to Rick.
Mhm.
Um, then we give it to the second person that can sound the most like it, so that we're not overwhelming, Sean Kelly with like, hey, remember how you were going to do Rick and Morty? So you
Hey,
need to do
just do
Rick and
Justin
Morty.
Roiland. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like your idea of kind of spreading it around to help,
Mhm.
like, to give other voice actors a job too,
For
or,
sure.
or jobs too. I
Yeah.
think that is the coolest way. It's almost like we're community outsourcing
Yeah.
the projects by fans.
It's like he was hoarding them all of this stuff, and then, like,
Right. Right.
someone catches them, boom, and then all, like, when you kill, like, a hoarding creature and a thing, and you see all of his loot go, psh, and you're
Right.
okay, yeah, now I can go get all that loot. Yeah,
Exactly.
just find all that loot.
So not only that, I mean, I've been watching Sean Kelly's some of his. I mean, he does some like TikTok and Twitch streams too, and he was
Mhm.
playing the game High on Life, and he was literally just talking in the same voice of the gun the entire time,
Yeah,
and it was great. It was just great. So
it's awesome.
yeah, he's awesome. I definitely recommend going and following him and just kind of listening, because he does other characters too. And like, I mean, he's got videos where he's like just playing around. It's fun to see somebody try things and
Oh, yeah.
knowing that they're not great, but he's just like, hey, I'm working on this. Let me try this. And so he's trying a bunch of different characters, and it's not just Rick and Morty. And originally, his screen name was, I believe his handle was Morty Says. And then long before this, he changed it to Sean Kelly Says, because he said, I want, and he came out with it like and said,
Gotta brand himself.
I want, yeah, I want to do a bunch of different voices. I don't want to be known as the guy who
Right.
sounds exactly like Rick and Morty. This
Exactly.
was long before any of this, the Roiland stuff came out, anything like that. He just did that for the sake of, he wanted to try a bunch of things. He wasn't like, just didn't want to paint himself into a box, basically. And the creative part of me 100% admires that, because it's just like with music. You try a bunch of stuff, and you know what? Some stuff falls flat. Some stuff doesn't work.
Hey.
But that trying is the fun part, is really like trying, and succeeding is the best case scenario, but failing also show, like, you learn from that. And I think it's really cool, and to be able to see this, because he posts so much, and he does some, and he does a bunch of different voices, and he tries a bunch of stuff. I just think it's really cool.
Even content creation, right? Like what we're doing here. Like you
Yeah.
gotta see what works and what doesn't. And even if it comes to, if you become a slave to what you think people just want to watch all the time, or just doing something that you think is fun. And I think that's a whole big part of it. So I think, yeah, so it's a great thing about the creative mind, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I look, like I said, I don't have any worry about the Rick and Morty series. I I love the first few seasons. Not that I don't like the later seasons and everything like that, but it's just one of those things where like the comfort seasons for me are like seasons 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah, I
maybe
like those a
even.
lot. I like 4.
Um, I
I
don't
like 4 too.
remember. I don't know if I remember 4
I
as much.
believe that one has the dragon with the hand bonding or, the soul bonding and that's one of my favorite shows. Like, "How about a quick hand bond?" It's so good. I love it so much.
All
There's
right.
some really great stuff in that one.
That's funny, but I
Number
mean,
3 with Pickle Rick is like, I mean, I got it
right, right,
literally right here, right? If you don't see, I got a freaking Pickle Rick artist, right there. I got it at
right.
a convention one year. I think it was WonderCon, but,
Very cool.
actually, I might have got it at Comic-Con. No, it was WonderCon. Um, but yeah, I love that episode of Death, and I love the creativity of that show.
Yeah,
Seeing it evolve has been great, but I only wait until HBO Max drops them to watch the new season, so it gets tough to follow the lore, because I have to watch the entire damn show to remember what happened at that point. So,
yeah,
because they're doing
yeah,
a lot of deep cut references to continue their story as well. So,
yeah,
yeah, I love the show. It sucks that such a big part of it has kind of been clouded in such bad news. It sucks to cover it in that like kind of light, but it is what it is. It happened. But the only thing we can do is look forward to what can happen with the shows going forward, and how they can grow from this experience, right? So,
yeah.
I'm excited to see what goes on for not only Rick and Morty, but even like if there's a High on Life too. We gotta see what they gotta do what they do with that. I haven't
Yeah,
had
I
a
mean, they
chance to
hinted at
fully
DLC. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to fully dive into the game yet, but,
Oh
uh,
man, I can't.
yeah.
Have you started playing that at all?
I tried to. I told you my PC was, like, yelling at me for it, so I gotta
Oh,
figure out
that's
what my
right.
settings are for that for some reason. Um, so, yeah, I wanna see what happens with that going forward, and even though I don't watch Solar Opposites, I hope nothing but good things for everyone working on that show too as well, so, yeah, it's trying to find the silver lining in kind of shitty news, and this has been a kind of an ongoing thing for the last few years too. So
I
it's
know.
just kind of it's being resolved at this point. So
Yeah,
everything's kind of been completed, and this is now the end results of it. And so yeah, here we go. Now it's time to move forward.
exactly. So, all right. Well, moving forward, talk about
Moving
a couple of
forward.
moving to I guess DC now. We'll go back
Yeah, moving back to
back to
DC.
DC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We definitely should have
Um,
done these back to back,
we
probably,
should
but it's
have.
okay. Yeah,
Oh
it's
well.
okay.
It's a live show,
Yeah.
so we don't pre-plan anything.
No, we just go off on by our list.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, you were talking about these, and these are two series that I feel like you follow way closer than I do. Like, I started watching both of these,
Yeah.
but I am definitely way behind. So you
I'm
definitely.
behind on the most recent seasons, but I
Oh, really?
do enjoy these shows as well. Um, Guys, if you didn't know, we're talking about Doom Patrol and Titans, two shows that I feel like had very good intentions for what they wanted to be. Doom Patrol, I think, is very, very underrated. It's just like, boy, talk about weird shows. Like this show fully embraces the weird, and I think it does a very good job with it. It's got a really great cast, including the one and only Brendan Fraser. I would say this is kind of a key role in kind of starting his resurgence, in my opinion, because I didn't know that he was still doing stuff until I heard that he got cast in this show,
Yeah.
and then he started doing more and more. Because I had the feeling him as the robot is one of my favorite things, just kind of hearing his voice, and then you get to see some live action stuff with there here, and he's a very funny character, but a very kind of like tragic character at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, again, wonderful cast here that I think it's cool that they got as many seasons they did. I think they're going to go on to their fourth season, and same with Titans. I think they're getting their fourth season and ending as well. Um, and what I like about this is that even though they announced that these shows are I guess canceled, but they actually said that these series will be ending in
Yeah.
these final seasons and that they're actually going to be written to have definitive conclusions.
Right.
So it's not necessarily saying like, hey, they're done. You don't get to see how they get to end. No, they're saying like, so we're going to just end these shows because, we have bigger plans coming forward for DC, right? We're really getting into this big transition of this Walter Hamada to James Gunn handoff here of the movie TV universe, right? So we know we're gonna get James Gunn's DC slate at the end of the month. He kept kind of saying near the end of the month. We're almost there.
We are
He
very
could
close.
yeah, we only got a few days left.
Days.
I was watching my boy Christian Harloff's channel on his show Capes and Cowls, and they were talking about probably them waiting because of the Shazam trailer coming out. He didn't want to overshadow that with the news of his upcoming stuff, which makes a lot of sense. James is very classy in that regard. But while we await the stuff that he has planning for the near future, I would say, we know he's teased characters like Lobo and Mr. Terrific. But I'm curious to see what characters do you want to see DC kind of push more into like the forefront as opposed to like the stuff we got in the Snyderverse, right? So like obviously we want to see more Superman. I would say Superman's kind of the one that kind of got the shaft of the main the main trio, the Trinity as they call them. So I would say outside of that kind of like the Batman, the Wonder Woman, and Superman, what are some characters that like didn't get much of a shine in the Snyderverse or even in most recent movies that like you would like to see kind of get their shine going forward, or even a TV series?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's still Batman. It's still Batman branded, but I have said this multiple times, and we almost got it. Like one of the rumors of the Keaton Batman movie was going to potentially lead into this.
Oh, from the Flash, yeah.
Yeah. Is Batman Beyond. Like that was one of my favorite cartoon Batman series. I would love to either get a Batman Beyond movie or a series, a live action series. I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
Especially because it was already a series. So if we could literally lift from the source material and actually make a series like that. I think it'd be really cool. I'm willing to wait though, and I put this right in the notes. I'm willing to trust the process. So like, I'm not saying like I want this right now. I want this immediately. I'm fine with them, going and establishing like the core, whatever they want to push to the forefront, whether it is really the big ones like Superman.
Yeah, we know Superman is going to be the kind of like probably more of a focal point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying I'm willing to wait. Like if we do get a Batman and it's an older Batman, I'm willing to wait like a couple of solo films or something like that, and then maybe have down the line a series where that Batman is starting to age out of his role, and then we get a Batman Beyond, either live action series or live action movie, to kind of start to carry the mantle type of thing. I think that would be a really cool thing, and it would show a lot of future planning, which is what we get. One of the good things that we get from Marvel is there is a lot of future planning. So it's not just like, well, we'll just cast a whole bunch of people and we'll figure it out later down the line. I like to see that kind of future planning there. So what I mean by this is I'm willing to wait. But that if I could get anything, I think that is what I would like to see in a live action format, whether it be a show or whether it be a movie. But what about you?
Yeah, I was again the same show I was referencing earlier, Capes and Cowls. They were talking about this actually. I thought it was very interesting that like even though it's kind of a trap that Marvel fell into in Phase 4 in a little bit of a sense, but it's also that we're seeing like the building blocks of that still. That they don't really want to see. I thought this was very interesting because I didn't think about it until I heard it. It was that they didn't want to see DC fall into like, well, you have to watch this to watch this as well. I think that's a very hard thing to jump into right away, maybe. And I've never thought about that before, and I'm like, that's kind of a good point. Yeah, for sure. I think a character like okay, so the Flash movie is coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a great character to kind of like initiate a jump start to a new universe off of because of how Flashpoint works and how the Flash character can utilize time and all that, and the multiverse itself. You can literally just kind of kick things off into a new universe and go from there. Um, so it will be interesting to see what the reaction to that movie will be, because if the reaction to that movie is as acclaimed as the early reactions we've heard are going to be, you can still continue to build off of that and do the Batman Beyond movie with Keaton possibly,
Yeah.
which would be really cool. Uh, so I would love to see that, especially the TV series. I feel like when Keaton I think he just did a TV series maybe for Apple not too long ago. I can't remember what the name of the show was, but there was a show that he did not too long ago that he was apparently very good in. So one, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see him in a TV series, first off.
Yeah.
But like again, HBO Max TV shows, like the whole thing they're doing with the Matt Reeves Batman universe right now, like you keep these things in their cool little pockets, and then if you need to, you can pull little aspects into like this bigger story later on, maybe. Um, but I think that would be really cool. But okay, so we'll talk about a little bit about the ones I'm excited to see. So we know a few of the ones that we're still ready to get. Like we're gonna get the Blue Beetle later on. I think yeah, this year for sure. I'm excited to see that and kind of see what you can do with a character like that going forward. And I feel like that's a character that's kind of right in James Gunn's wheelhouse as far as like a character that he would want to see kind of pushed into like to a the big screen format, but like hey, let's get more eyes on a character like this and draw in a wider audience, right?
Yep.
So I love that, and we know that we're still getting like a Green Lantern. I don't know if it's a series or a movie, but we're still getting something Green Lantern related. Um,
Yep.
but more so, I want to see the Green Lantern dive into the overall Lantern Corps mythos. So, because again, we have Lantern Corps for different uh, uh, emotions on the spectrum. So you got one for love, you got one for hope, you got one for anger. You got all these different Lantern Corps that are against at odds with each other. Fear, of course, the Yellow Lanterns. Um, so I want to see them dive into more like that, like bigger cosmic universe, and I think like Green Lantern is the one that you can kind of do that with. So I would love to see that. Um, but before I get into like the characters that I really want to see like get pushed to the front, there's one that I forgot to mention here in the rundown. A character named Booster Gold, which is a
Oh yeah.
very great character. He kind of comes back to he's from the future, and he's a person who kind of goes back to the past and uses the knowledge from the past to kind of get famous as a superhero. And
Right.
I feel like that's a great comedic character that DC can utilize, especially James Gunn to a degree. Uh, um, and kind of bring like eyes on these smaller characters. One that like if you've never heard of Booster Gold and you wanted to see some great stuff from him, that's a great character to kind of dive into. The way he interacts with a lot of different heroes and his roles in the bigger storylines is really fun. Jeff Johns writes some pretty great comics about Booster Gold. If you ever want to dive into that, you should definitely check those out. But the first one I'll get started with here is boy, I want to say more for an HBO Max TV series, but I would love to see Deathstroke get his own show centered where he is the main character and you're kind of following him as a mercenary. I feel like it would be a great kind of like Netflix's Punisher, essentially. I feel like that would be
All
kind of like
right.
an approach that you could take to this, like almost like Punisher meets Deadpool because he's also an enhanced mercenary at the same time, and
Mhm.
also uh Deadpool and Deathstroke are just are they're always going to be matched together because one is a rip off of the other.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think that's a great character with some really great backstory that you can dive into. I mean, the way he was handled by Manu Bennett in Arrow was phenomenal. I really love that character arc in the first and second season of Arrow. If you've never seen that, definitely go and check that out. I think the way he handled Deathstroke as a character was just phenomenal. And then we also saw recently Isai Morales in Titans play Deathstroke as well, and he did a really great job with the character as well. So we never got to see Joe Manganiello's take on the character kind of fully fleshed out. I think he looked great in the suit and he looked great with his hairdo and everything. He looked just like the character. So I wouldn't mind if you brought him back and
Yeah.
did a whole series on him with that. So I think that would be a really fun way to kind of one give him redemption on that character to kind of give him that shot to really do what he wanted to do with it, and also give this character a bigger spotlight. Um, the second one here for me is a character that we only saw for a few seconds in the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. But boy, I loved seeing him in that one scene just alone. So but it's Martian Manhunter, man. Um, really, really great character. From of course from Mars, because it's in the name, of course. But man, I think the way that he works in big ensemble teams, I think he makes a great team leader, and I think he's someone that you can kind of. I think it's just who James Gunn can utilize, and even though he's not necessarily human, but using that fact that he does pose as a human, John Jones, and kind of use that to his favor, and then like I feel like he can handle the review of being like, wait, this John Jones guy is actually an alien, and it's Martian Manhunter, and it's all that. I think that could actually be really cool. Um, if you do some kind of like a JLA movie or it kind of whatever you want to do, like whatever team up movie you can do, you can throw Martian Manhunter in, do it. I think it would be really great. Um, yeah, I am a massive Martian Manhunter fan, so seeing him again, I think make more sense in an ensemble team up, but to see him kind of get like an actual big role in a team would be really fun.
Very cool. Yeah, I like Martian Manhunter a little. As soon as you put it on the list, I was like, that's a good pick. That's a good
Yeah.
pick. Yeah, I like that. I like it. I mean, I'm really interested. I mean, obviously, we're going to do something once we get the announcement, whether we're recapping, on the next live, or if we
Yeah.
do a really quick video on like our reactions to the list and the future moving forward for DC's slate, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, as of right now, we're just guessing, and I mean, it's fun because like I've said, I know I'm a big Marvel guy. Like I love Marvel guy, but I am just excited and just as hopeful about the DC slate now that we have James Gunn in, and now that we have people that are really going to try to build this like I guess universe around this
Right.
and make it as good as they possibly can. I mean, I'm excited to see that basically.
Yeah, and also Joker 2 is filming right now, and Lady Gaga apparently has just started to film her Harley Quinn scenes.
Uh-huh.
So that I'm so excited. I Joker the first Joker movie was like, boy, what a fucking experience that was. One of the few times I've walked out of the theater kind of like with that like what did I just watch in the great way. Like it's a masterpiece in my opinion. Um and I think Gaga has turned into a really great actress. Like if you've ever seen A Star Is Born, she's great in that. Other stuff as well. So I think she fits this world very well. And the fact that they're kind of doing this kind of weird musical take on it, I feel like I want to see that classic kind of like Alex Ross art of her Joker and Harley Quinn kind of holding hands like this and dancing. They kind of did it with Margot Robbie and Jared Leto, but I want to see it more with this Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga version. Um, but yeah, I want to see. It's interesting because DC is their villains are some of the most compelling characters in all comics. Like rarely are the heroes kind of thrown into getting all the praise except for like Batman and Superman and one of like they have a lot of great heroes, um, but characters like not just the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle, but the Ted Core Blue Beetle, and then Plastic Man, who's basically just like Deadpool meets Mr. Fantastic. And you got some really amazing characters that you can work with there. That'll be another character I want to see, by the way. Plastic Man series. Holy shit, that would be so fucking funny. That'd be really, really funny. But yeah, I think there's so much potential in here that like we've gotten glimpses of so many great characters, but we haven't gotten to see them in like a wider universe. Especially the way like Batman characters play into like the overall DC world. I want to see like the Legion of Doom and all of that like actually kind of to formulate and all that. So I'm really hoping that like we can start to see this big shift in how DC stories are told and the real potential for how great these comics really are. Because in my opinion, the comics to me like that, there's no competition for me. That the DC comics in general, Marvel has a lot, and they have a lot of teams that expand, and it's almost a lot to keep up with because you don't know what timeline what works within what. But DC, I feel like does a really good job of kind of being like, okay, this kind of works. Here's this branch, and then here's it goes off in this branch, and then for this character, here's this branch, and then goes off in this direction. Like it's really the fine line. I'm team comics all the way, man. Like I've always said, I don't dive one way or the other, but I want to see both these companies succeed in a way where like people aren't always being like, okay, this new DC is coming out, but like we got to compare it to the biggest Marvel thing right now, you know? So it's like that. I'm still waiting on that. I just want to be like, yeah, that's a good movie. Daniel would be a dope Joker. Oh my gosh, Danny's got like a Lobo hair going on right now. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would be closer to Lobo. I don't know if I could go green hair. I think that would be my biggest obstacle. Is I don't think
Punk Lobo.
There we go, Pop Punk Global. You know what? I think my I like the first Joker movie, so I have nothing
It's
bad.
a depressing movie.
Exactly, I have nothing bad to say about that.
For sure. Yeah,
but here's the thing. I think the Harley Quinn TV show has just completely ruined my take on darker DC stuff, because that I feel like is how I want to see every villain. It's what they do in the Harley Quinn.
They
TV.
kind of made her the Deadpool of DC in the sense like that, like where she's very meta and she's in. That's kind of the appeal of Harley Quinn is how she works, right? Like she works in both these settings, and so I want to see a mix of like that Bruce Timm or Paul Dini Harley Quinn from the animated series mixed with like that almost funny the HBO Max Harley Quinn, right? The Kaylee Cuoco kind of stuff, but yeah, I love the way they're able to take these unique takes on these characters for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Snow, for saying that I would look amazing. We could try green hair. We'll see, but I think it would be very scary looking. I think blue is my comfort color, and I think that's the way that's the way I'll look the best. But no, what I was gonna say is not only Harley Quinn. I just mean I like how they deal with every villain in that series. I think they do such a good job of making them into obviously funny because it's a comedy series, but they make them real. And that's what I think is funny about that. Like the Joker is an asshole. And he is an asshole. Like that to me, fundamentally, I just think of him as that now. But he's rooted in real.
The most abusive of abusive boyfriends. Exactly. To Harley, yeah.
Exactly. But he's like a real character, like a person, and so like now whenever I see a different Joker, like from the Joker movie and stuff like that, it's almost like I'm just like, well, it's a real person, but I want it to be like the cartoon is type of thing. So I think that's why I think it's ruined that for me.
Ruined.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But do you want to do the one story that I've been waiting so long to talk about that has nothing to do?
Yeah. I actually completely forgot about it. Yeah.
I know, because I didn't put it on the rundown, because when I was telling you in prep for the show, I was like, hey, I got this other story. I don't want to surprise you with it or anything, but can we do it? And you were like, what is it?
Yeah.
There's an amazing story about Costco. So Costco wants to start putting apartments above their stores. Like they don't want to do it with every single one of them. They want to start it with certain ones. I believe the article that I'm citing is a California one wants to do it, and a New York one wants to do it. I think that's what they're talking about right now. Is like there's one in California and one in New York that want to actually try to do this, but they want to start building apartments above their stores, basically. We got our bot.
Bot's a bat. Continue story.
But included in your monthly rent, basically, you would have a free membership to Costco. That would be included with some of the amenities. You would also get as many free samples as you'd like when you go to Costco. I haven't been to Costco since before the pandemic, because and it's not just because pandemic.
You don't have a membership?
Yeah, I the last time I had a membership was when I was living in the house.
Yeah.
Everyone called the new girl house, because I was living with 6 roommates, And
Is it a loft?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a new house.
And we split the membership for Costco. It was just like
Right.
one of the other utilities that we paid towards. It ended up coming out to be like $5 each or something crazy, like very insignificant. But yeah, it was like that. Like you walk around and you're like, oh, try this. Oh, try that one. Yeah. So just imagine just taking the elevator down from your room, just going in and circulating once or twice.
Mhm.
But not only that, they're talking about having like delivery, like not Uber Eats, like an in-house delivery, like room service, basically. So you could order anything you wanted from Costco. So not only the food court stuff, but like say you needed AA batteries and you wanted like a sandwich or a hot dog or something like that. You get a
Hell
both
yeah.
and just order it and you get room service to your room.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great.
I just think it made my brain explode with the potential of how I don't think I'd ever leave my apartment complex if this happened. Like if my apartment had like a gym also included in it, I don't think I'd ever leave. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
I'd
Just
be
get
like,
a kettlebell. You don't need a gym.
I do have kettlebells here. Anyway, but I just had to mention that because I thought this was the most ridiculous but / interesting story that I can think of. I am very happy in my new apartment. Don't get me wrong. I love being here. I know my landlord's not watching or anything. But
Yeah, look at that sweet office.
yeah, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, look at it.
My Ghostbusters
Look at it.
proton pack, and I have all
Look at it.
and then I got the Captain America sheet. I have so much stuff behind me. I need to, you know what I really need? I need help decorating because I have really cool stuff, in my opinion, really cool stuff. I have really cool stuff, but I don't know how to it looks cool here like this, and this looks the best, and that looks, I need that kind of stuff. I also need lighting advice and help with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of shadows.
I know. There's a lot. There's
You
a lot
more.
going on.
You just need more lights to balance out the light.
I don't know what to get though. What kind of lights? What kind of things? I need help, people.
More of the same lights.
What?
I said more of the same lights.
I hate these lights. These two that are on the floor.
So not those lights.
Yeah. I also don't have a lot of. It's not like I can just go, you know what? I'm gonna buy $250 worth of lights, and if they don't work out, oh well. I need to like a budget here, but I need to figure that out. So if anyone has any advice, let me know. And yeah, I mean,
You never know when the next Marvel Fortnite skin is going to come out. You know what I mean?
Look, I am very shout out to Snow. She got me my newest Marvel skin, and I had convinced myself not to buy it because I had no more V-Bucks, and I still have no more V-Bucks at all. So I convinced myself not that. I was just like, look, it's gonna go out of the shop. You know, I'm gonna have to wait. Maybe down the line we're gonna get something else with Ghost Rider, like whether it's a series, whether he's gonna be hinted at in a movie, something like that, and he'll be back. I'm just like, yeah, then the next time I'll just get him on the next time. And I was actually telling Snow when I was just saying that I was like, oh, it's a really cool skin, and yeah, I have no V-Bucks. I'm trying. I'm trying discipline. Basically, I'm not putting any more V-Bucks in right now just to buy the skin. I'm out of V-Bucks completely, and the next time I logged in, I had the Ghost Rider skin. So thank you so much for that. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite Marvel skins right now because it's awesome. And I did not know how cool the motorcycle glider was going to be. That's my favorite part because it just revs.
I have that one on my PS5. It's good.
It's so cool. If you don't like the skin, at least buy the glider because the glider is awesome. One of my favorite gliders. I'm just gonna start adding it to random characters now, but yeah. I digress. You get me started on Fortnite. I'm gonna be broke because I just heard like that they're gonna be bringing back the Stranger Things Demogorgon and Hopper. As soon as they come, that's gonna be. I have a feeling that's gonna be what I add V-Bucks for is when they come back because they haven't been in for so long, and that was one of the skins. That one and the Ghostbusters skin with the emote, the Ghostbusters walking emote. are ones that I've seen since the day that I started playing Fortnite, and they've never come back into the shop since I've been playing. And at this point, I've been playing for almost exactly a year because if you remember, I started playing for Moon Knight.
I remember. I got you into it.
I know you did. You got me right into it. And you're like, look, if it's in the shop now, so if you're interested in start playing, you better get it before it gets out of the shop. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna just buy something and not play a game. So that's got me right into it. So I mean, we're into it right now. This is when this is when why can't I think of the name of the
What are you
series?
thinking of?
The name of the series, Moon Knight, the Moon Knight series. That was around this time last year, right? It was March.
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 Yeah.
So yeah. So my year anniversary was.
So when the Secret Invasion skins come out, that's going to. Who knows?
We'll have Nick Fury that changes into Talos.
Oh yeah, we already have the Fury, so
we do have Fury.
We don't have scroll skins though.
Yeah,
like a scroll skin would be pretty cool.
Scroll and do you have the Mystique skin that was part of the Battle Pass?
PS5.
Okay, because that I believe the emote with that is you can copy something or it changes into a different player.
You change into someone's character, yeah.
Right. So that would be really cool if we got if that was an emote for the scroll, like if we got a scroll character from Secret Invasion, and then you could do the same thing. I think that would be really cool. Fortnite, take that down because I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway,
about having two monitors, Danny, is that I can look up what's in the store right now, which is
what is in the store? Is there anything?
Oh, you can look it up right now, bud.
Oh, add your monitor. We just found this out last week.
Oh yeah. I can do that. Boom, boom.
We found out this really cool thing last when we were playing around because we were playing around in the studio because we use this not only to go live, but we use this when we're recording our stuff. And I can okay.
We're up. We're in.
Okay.
We're on. Welcome, guys. We're on my Fortnite.
We're on Rico's Fortnite.
We're on my Fortnite.
How many V-Bucks do you have? I can't see it. It's really small.
I have 450 V-Bucks.
Oh, that is
left for absolutely pretty much nothing.
I like that car. What was that car?
Squatting Dogs bundle. Squatting Dogs is a great Fortnite streamer. We have a mutual. Oh, it's PM. But he's a great guy. Yeah. So
what is that? What is that car? Can you go to the glider?
This one?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Like a DeLorean.
I like that.
Yeah, that's season 5. That's like first chapter of Fortnite right there. We got some Flamingo stuff.
What's the emo?
Slick. Oh, I had this one on my PS5 too.
What is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got that. This is the featured stuff today. You got your buddy here that you like to play as.
Oh, he's my go-to.
Yep.
I love him.
And then the Falcon. I like this one a lot. It's always been a favorite of mine.
That's really cool. I don't know if I like that one.
He's a katana with an eagle.
Yeah, I like that one.
Gladiator banana. Daily stuff right here. Kid Leroy. All the basic stuff, Danny. All the basic stuff.
We're missing so there's another emote for Kid Leroy. And I'm hoping that it's part of the concert series and like we're just gonna be able to all win it type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's the only song that I know from Kid Leroy is associated with that emote. And it's the emote that we don't have. Like 50 people, I think, have it, and they're all just like top streamers that were gifted it, I think.
Yeah.
Or
there you go. We were talking about this earlier. That
looks so cool.
Yeah. It all looks really good.
Yeah.
Very good. Comes with 2 back blings. I always say black bings. The back blings.
Did you see the Kid Leroy back bling though?
I did.
So the back bling and pickaxe are the same thing. You do the motion of taking it off your back.
You unsheath it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a few like that. It's pretty good.
I like the Kid Leroy because also you can do the where you can turn them all blue.
Yeah. Oh, leave me. It says something right here. Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Nice. Leave me alone.
Okay. It's what the front of his shirt says too.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Leave me alone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's just go back to our 2 screen.
Yes. How do I remove this? There we go. Yay! We find something new every day. So I guess cheers to everyone. Cheers to the start of the weekend is what we should be saying. Cheers. Cheers to the start of the weekend. on that note, have a wonderful belt ceremony tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a wonderful show.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping somebody's gonna take video, and maybe I can, share some of the video on our social medias.
Yeah, I want to see you hopping around doing the singing and stuff and things.
Oh, I do the bouncing around and the singing.
Yeah,
I get super gross sweaty.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be gross. Anyway. Everyone out there, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us again on one of our live streams. And as always, don't forget. Oh, let me see where it is. I apologize. I made a special board. Don't forget that now, not only do we have a video series where we're following the Bad Batch.
Here's in your ear holes.
And the Last of Us series, but also you can find all of our stuff on audio form on a lot of different outlets. I don't even think I have all of them here, but definitely Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, I believe Audible, other places like that. We're
if it's in your ears, we're probably there.
Yeah. But as we kind of grow in just the audio format, we're going to start using that to do, some quick takes on things that maybe we just don't have enough time to prepare video wise, or if, one of us is sick or something like that, and we can talk, but we don't really feel like being on camera. We're going to start utilizing that a little bit more as that starts growing. So we're really trying to get some listeners over there and stuff like that.
DB, you're very late.
You are very late. We're just saying
okay,
goodbye.
DB, we still love you, but
I appreciate you came. Thank you.
He's here though. We love you.
You're here. You got here right at the end. Right at the end. You want to say cheers to DB?
Yeah, I threw my cups
Cheers.
away.
Yeah. Just got a splash left. But enjoy your weekend also.
Fortnite is life.
Fortnite is life.
Yes. There we go. Absolutely.
Well, anyway, have a great weekend out there. We will be back next week with 2 recap videos and probably a live video reacting to a bunch
3.
of
What? Black Panther.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. I forgot. Crap. All right. We have a lot of videos next week.
Oh, it's going to be a busy week, my friends.
I am not going to be sleeping most of next week because of this.
It's okay.
I'm going to enjoy the weekend while I still can.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, have a great weekend. Don't forget, follow us on all of our social medias and keep checking and click like and subscribe so you can be up to the date with all of our video and audio releases. Bye, everybody!
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.